Alright, so today this is my last video for related to the Cold War and stuff. Alright, in the series. Alright. Now today we're gonna talk about the end of the Cold War, aka the dissolution of the USSR. So dissolution basically means let's give you an example. Alright, you take sugar, you put into a cup. You stir it, and you have sugar water, but you want to get the sugar back. So you boil the water, and it will leave the sugar in like a little in liquid form, and then all the water will be evaporated. That's dissolution, because that's basically how it works. Alright, you remove something, and boom, it splits. Now it happened. The dissolution of the Soviet Union. Well, it takes over maybe 4 to 5 dozen years actually. I mean, for the 5 decades to actually dissolve, right? Started in 1922 and dissolved in 1991. Now, 1922 was under Lenin, but then Stalin took over World War One. After World War One and World War Two. So there are many reasons on why the dissolution happened. Number one, people were getting tired of communism, right? Like it's nearly the 21st century, and you're still relying on communism. It's kind of weird. And number two, in 1990, Germany, this is basically Germany, right? East Germany, the GDR, was very unstable. Germany was like, hey, let's go back to our country. We don't like your rule here, all right? And early 1990, West Berliners and East Berliners, which are people living in the capital of Berlin. Right, they stormed the Berlin Wall and then destroyed the wall. Right, the Soviet guards tried to maintain some order, but obviously it failed. And in October 1990, Germany was reunited, and obviously East Germany became part of Germany again. So obviously that's the loss of another potential Soviet satellite state. Number two is this period, they were under the rule of Mr. Gorbachev, Mikhail Gorbachev, alright? Basically, he was like a reformist, alright? Like, okay, maybe we need to change up a little bit. We've been communist for a little bit too long. And his original intention was like the Soviet Union would stay, but it would be more of a market economy type, alright? There will be private ownership, personal property rights. Government doesn't control everything. So basically, that's what it is. All right, we want to shift to we hold the communist title, but we aren't communist. However, that didn't go so well because in the end, the Soviet Union dissolved into 21 smaller states. All right, that includes, let's name them. All right. Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Ukraine, Poland. Technically Poland was not part of the Soviet Union. It was a satellite state, like any time. Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, a bunch of Stan states near Siberia, Azerbaijan, Georgia. Basically, a lot of states. All right, that's a few of the 21 states that came out of the Soviet Union. All right, so yeah, that's number one. And after the dissolution, Russia was trying to concentrate on restabilizing the country. So because there wasn't necessarily an enemy left, NATO still remained. However, its protection is now defend Russia, and by defend Russia I mean keep Russia away from us. And because no more communism, no more countries are communist. It was 1991. All right, Vietnam isn't communist. China isn't, except for Cuba. All right, Cuba was the last communist nation under Fidel Castro. So of course the UN, the US, and other nations that were sympathetic. Okay, you know what? Maybe we should start having better relations with each other. So they sent aid, right? US aid, wheat and grain, US US powdered milk, clothes donations, etc., etc. Right? So basically, some of the dissolution happened because they were attempting to establish a semi-democratic USSR. However, that didn't go so well, and it plopped into 21 smaller states, and got some help. But eventually this would not end up, helping our political tension anyway. Because, well, as you can see right now, Western Bloc, Eastern Bloc, well, obviously, there's still the CSTO and NATO, all right? They're still there. Warsaw Pact, not anymore. But CSTO, Collective Security Treaty Organization, yeah, that's basically the Warsaw Pact. So, yeah, basically, nothing changed. They just became democratic, but we're still enemies. So yeah, thanks for listening to my last part of the, the Cold War series, and have a nice day. I'm out. Please subscribe to my channel.